give you all the tools to set up your agent for RL.
You used to be a quant. Is that when reinforcement learning became a part of your stack? Or tell us your story about getting into this.
I was a quant. You make a lot of money as a quant, but I think I wasn't really happy with, I guess a lot of my colleagues felt like everyone was just kind of there for money. So it's like you'd go get lunch with everyone would just be talking about, well, go to a club or, oh, what are you doing this weekend, whatever. No one's really thinking about how can we build something cool or stuff beyond vain stuff.
What inspired you to start HUD? And for those who are learning about HUD for the first time, can you tell us more about what HUD is doing?
At HUD, we help people make RL environments. So for startups, we're trying to make an RL environment to either train a model or sell RL environment to a lab. We provide the whole stack that lets you do that. And you can plug into any like RL backend. So OpenAI RFT, thinking machines, there's all these new RL backends. And we solve making the environment, and then you can sort of take it to anyone who will do RL for you.
What is the future of work with AI agents?
I think people are going to own a lot more of the stack than they do now. You use OpenAI, you use Claude, they're great, but they don't give you a lot of control. And obviously, like, they own the weights.
All right. Welcome to the Startup Growth Podcast. I'm your host, David, the founder and CEO at Fondo, and we have a very special guest today. We have Jay Ram, the founder and CEO of HUD. Thank you so much for joining us today, Jay.
Thank you, David. People on the podcast don't know this, but we actually are in the same sort of office.
We're neighbors.
And yeah, we're neighbors. So
yeah, finally doing the pod. Thanks for coming on, Jay. I would love to start with just talking about what inspired you to start HUD. And for those who are learning about HUD for the first time, can you tell us more about what HUD is doing?
At HUD, we help people make RL environments. So for startups who are trying to make an RL environment to either train a model or sell RL environment to a lab, we provide the whole stack that lets you do that. And you can plug into any RL backend. So, OpenAI RFT, thinking machines, there's all these new RL backends, and we solve making the environment, and then you can sort of take it to anyone who will do RL for you.
And where does RL environments fit in the stack of building agents today?
So right now it's sort of at the frontier. So right now, I'd say most companies should just use a foundation lab model, use OpenAI, Claude. But we've noticed it's sort of post-PMF when people are trying to simultaneously cut costs and get the last mile improvement out of their agent. They look to train their own model and doing RL. And so we provide sort of the Next.js of RL environments, to say, in the sense that we give you all the tools to set up your agent for RL. So that's sort of where we've been in the stack.
So when did you become obsessed with this world of RL? So you used to be a trader.
Yeah. And I was actually a quant researcher, but similar. Yeah.
Okay. You used to be a quant.
Yeah.
So is that when, reinforcement learning became a part of your stack? Or tell us your story about getting into this.
Yeah, it's very unintuitive how I got into it. So I think I was a quant. You make a lot of money as a quant, but I think I wasn't really happy with, I guess, a lot of my colleagues, because it felt like no one was really a builder. It felt like everyone was just kind of there for money. So it's you'd go get lunch with everyone would just be talking about let's go to a club, or oh, what are you doing this weekend, whatever. And it's no one's really thinking about, okay, how can we build something cool, or stuff beyond vain stuff, right? And so actually I left quant, and I spent a lot of time making apps, and one of them was an AI prank calling app, right? So that was actually my first sort of big app, right? And it was the for a very brief point the number one app on the App Store. It's been since taken down because it violates Apple TOS, but it's you could call your friends as Trump, as Obama. It was a really good app, right? I really like building the app, but the thing I sort of realized when I was making the app is as a company, you're very much defined by your customers, right? And I feel the people I was interacting with daily, my customers, were it was really annoying, right? It was someone's kid went and prank called a bunch of people. I have to cancel their subscription. It wasn't very fun to deal with my customers, right? And it wasn't very impactful either. It's okay, I'm just helping people prank call each other. I'm not really adding anything to society. I'm borderline destructive, right?
How many prank calls were made with the app?
Oh, at least 500K. I actually don't know the number. Wow. I need to go check Supabase. But yeah, it was a lot. But I think I don't know. It was so I was very much like, okay, next thing I do, like if I ever do something venture backed, it needs to sort of impact society, right? Like, and I want to have like the smartest customers. So what we went out and solved, me and my two co-founders, is we wanted to solve evals for computer use because we saw that was a really hard problem, and we're like, the people who are running this problem are like people at Foundation Labs. So we did that, and then. Back then, like people don't really know this, but people used to call RL environments evals, right? Because they're very similar, right? So like a lab would be like, we need an eval for this, but what that would mean is they would just take that data and they would do what's called like hill climbing on it, which is effectively doing algorithms like RL to improve the model on that eval. And so over time, like, you know, there's people stop calling it, you know, oh, I need an eval to do this. They're just like, I need an RL environment for this task. And so so the market, like, you know, shifted and, you know, it started being about RL environments more so than just evals.
And what is an eval? Can you tell us about evals and how they're different from RL environments?
Yeah, so an eval is literally just a score that you give a model on a bunch of tests that like tests roughly how good it has certain skills. So if I was to make like a tax eval, I'd make a bunch of tasks on like, okay, like, can you file this form correctly? Or like, you know, can you like read this statement and like get the right thing from this PDF, right? And as you can tell, I don't know anything about taxes. That's why I use you guys. So you know, that's, you make an eval that just tests, okay, what can an accountant do, and can an agent properly do that, right? That's what a tax eval would look like. And when RL environments sort of different is it's very much about the rewards you give the model for doing the right task, right? For a tax eval, right, it's just like, oh, can you do this correctly, right? And then if so, you get a proper score. With RL, it's more so like which steps you do, right? Like, did you get the right answer? How right was the answer? How much of a reward do you give based on how right the answer was? And based on the actual RL algorithm you're using, it's sort of how you like design the environment, versus the eval is almost isolated from the algorithm itself.
So the eval just gives you a score, and the RL environment gives you
like a reward.
A reward.
Yeah.
And talk more about the reward. So
the reward is just like how much a model should update based on how well it did at the job, right, or at the task. So yeah, how you design rewards, it's very specific based on the environment and the algorithm, and there's a lot of iteration you have to do, which is why, you know, we built the HUD platform.
Okay, awesome. So there's a lot of hard technical problems in building the solution that you're building. Like, what's some of the hardest challenges you faced building HUD?
It's sort of like twofold. There's a lot of design problems that are hard because it's like a new space. So you know, we get the opportunity to be very opinionated about, okay, environment should look this way, that iteration cycle should look this way. So a lot of it's design more than technical, but then obviously there's a lot of like really hard infra work we have to do in order to make sure that when you run an eval or you run RL on your model, you get the result really quickly. A large reason why a lot of researchers at Foundation Labs use us to run their evals for computer use is just because like you can get an answer very, very quickly on how good your model is at a certain eval, right? So it's simultaneously like design and infra.
Without HUD, what does solving this problem look like? What was the status quo before you guys launched?
So before, one, like, you know, because no one was really like making RL environments for language models, there wasn't even like toolkit to do it. And even running like evals to this day is actually very annoying, right? Because there's no like standard way of doing it. We solve it for a lot of computer use evals, but for the most part, like it's like very annoying to sort of get something going. So I guess like sort of in this like new market of making RL environments, there really isn't anything else yet that does it in the same opinionated way as we do it. I think there's a few like open source stuff that's like coming out that's sort of like, this is like getting really technical, but like gymnasium spec ways of doing it. We're very much like opinionated about like, okay, for language model RL and like RL environment lifecycle management, like this is how it should look. I think we've had a lot of success with customers based on that approach.
Awesome. And I want to talk about your journey to YC a little bit. So you built this the number one prank calling app in the App Store. You went from being a quant to being a founder, building apps. Had over 500,000 prank calls through your app, and now you want to do a new startup. You want to target. You want to work with smart people solving hard problems. So how did YC come into the picture?
Yeah, it's pretty crazy, right? I was like, okay, it was just like, okay, like I want to do something like kind of venture backed, and I kind of always wanted to make like a since like, I wanted my customers to be like the most interesting people, I was like, okay, like being part of like the YC community would really help with that. Yeah, I think it was like always like, okay, like I get to have like the coolest, I guess like colleagues or like peers as like YC founders. So that was sort of the motivation of applying to YC.
And so you did YC Winter 25. When did you apply?
I applied like 2 months before, I think. Yeah, I was like, it was like October.
And who did you do your interview with?
It was with Aaron and Matt.
Okay.
And it's crazy. I still text them, talk to them a lot. So
yeah, so they're still helping you beyond the batch, right? That's what's great about YC is your group partners still help you for the life of the company.
Yeah. No, I think it's what you make of it. I think like for me, YC's kind of been like actual college because I felt like during college I was like always doing like random stuff. And like I never like got super close to my professors. I feel like YC, and I feel like a lot of founders have this experience too, where it's like you're always like building like random stuff in college and you're not like super attending your classes. I feel like YC feels like the actual like my actual college in a way, where it's like, okay, like all the like people I can like relate to, right? We're all having like the same issues, and YC partners are former founders themselves. So I feel like the things they tell you is like super I guess relevant for you.
Yeah, totally. And so you went through the program. Was HUD what it is today when you went through YC, or did you have any pivots?
Yes, in fact, actually, weirdly enough, I feel like HUD has been closer to what we articulated in our application than like during the batch. Because during the batch, like, we were like, okay, we want to sell like evals and what is now like environments to like labs, and we want to help people make evals in environments. At the time, like the market was so nascent that like, we'd like go on customer calls, we'd like try to like talk to like these data companies and be like, why would we like use you guys? Like, it's like, you know what I mean? Like, there was no real like a lot of startups trying to do it. So it was like, okay, like there's no like market for this. And so we're thinking like, okay, like maybe we need to figure out like some B2B like enterprise thing, right? Obviously that like Aaron, who's our partner, is like a huge fan of that. He's like, oh, dude, just sell to enterprise. No, now I think the enterprise are really looking to all environments too. So I think there's a huge opportunity there that we're also working with few enterprises. But yeah, it's kind of weird where it was like we kind of had a vision for like where we wanted the market to be, and at the beginning it wasn't like that. But then RL sort of like changed how the market worked, and it sort of like let our sort of vision like become, I guess, more real.
Yeah. So can you talk more about that trend you mentioned where more startups are training their own models versus building on one of the big foundational models? What does that trend look like? I
think how it looks like is you start out, you use a foundation model, and then post PMF, you look to like cut costs, make the model better. That's when RL, SFT, all these like different optimizations you can do. And to do all those things, you need evals, you need environments, right? So that's sort of where we play in the stack. So yeah, like I think like Cal AI, they sort of like rolled their own stack now. Bland, I think everything they use is their own stack. So I think you're sort of seeing the cutting edge of like enterprises that are really like tech forward start to do it. And even at the enterprise level, we're seeing like different teams adopt their own models. So.
And what does the stack look like today for rolling your own model?
Yeah, so right now it's very there's a lot of different tools you have to like bring together. I think it'll sort of be like that for a while, where it's like it's very like uncoupled, right? You can use like modal for like hosting the model, or you can use like together for like inference, or you can like work with a data company to get the data, or you can like sort of do the data pipeline yourself. So it's very fragmented. I think where it's going though, because I think the sort of the like main training paradigm is becoming RL, is there's just going to need to be really good tools for like iterating on an RL environment. And so for that one part of the stack, I think we can create a lot of value.
Oh, that's really interesting. So still really early days, it sounds like.
Yeah, I know. It's like this market, like there could be some new like AI algorithm that like totally changes the market, and I'll be on here in like 6 months being like, yeah, RL is like whatever, but like there's a new. I mean, it's so early, right? This is like, I think what kind of woke everyone up was like the DeepSeek paper in, I think it was like January or February. And that was sort of where the industry changed, because I think there was a lot of hobbyist RL that started. Enterprise didn't even really get interested until the summer, because I feel like it was like very unclear like how this could be used at an enterprise level. So I think that was like the main pivot point of where the industry is now.
And so when they're building their own models, is that are they building on some open source model, or is it literally starting from scratch?
Well, they always build on some open source model, and the open source model is what's called like a pre-train, right? So it's like there's two parts of training a model. There's like pre-training and there's post-training. And the pre-training is just getting all the internet data and getting all this like high quality data and making sure a language model can do just that, like model language and like maybe like do like well-formed tool calls and like these types of things, right? And post-training is making sure it can actually do things correctly. And so yeah, like I think pre-training was very much like a scale game. Like, okay, like who can like throw the most money at like data and compute. And post-training is very much like accuracy and like getting very deep into the enterprise problem type game.
Mm-hmm. What are the most popular pre-trained models?
That are open source, GLM and Quen are like the two big ones. Yeah.
And where are those based?
They're all in China. But I think Meta might do like an open source model. Obviously, that's actually not true. The most popular open source model is actually GPT open source. Hopefully, there's American AI company that releases a great vision model. That's also not true. There is one that has a decent vision model called Moondream. But like, I feel like best like end-to-end with vision is probably like the Chinese labs. Yeah.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. What is the future of AI agents? And like overall, like how do you see the future of work? What is the future of work with AI agents?
I think people are going to own a lot more of the stack than they do now. I think right now you use OpenAI, you use Claude, they're great, but they don't give you a lot of control. And obviously like they own the weights. So you have not as much control over customizability as you'd want. You don't have as much like leverage on cost as you'd want. I think things are going to go where I think for super high end use cases, like they say like post-training is like creating like speciation models in the sense that, with pre-training, everything converges to the same like type of model, right? Because you're all just going off the same like internet effectively. With post-training, it's like there's going to be models that are really good at accounting. There's going to be models that are really good at finance. There's going to be models that are really good at making like SVGs or something, right? And that's sort of where it's going to go. And I think a lot of tech-forward enterprises are going to have their own models. And it's almost like, reversion to where things were before ChatGPT, right? Before ChatGPT, everyone was like rolling their own models. And then I think during the hype of sort of like AI and ChatGPT, everyone was like, they're going to make AGI and there's not going to be second best AGI. But now I think people are sort of waking up to the fact that you need to own more of your stack now. So, yeah.
Let's talk about video, VO3 and some of these video models. Are you seeing like companies like Higgsfield building their own model? Like what is the pre-trained model for video?
So I'm not as familiar with the video stacks as I am the LM stack. But I mean, yeah, video is one of those cases where it's like, it is like also a huge like data game. Yeah, Midjourney's there, like Grok is there.
Yeah.
Have you used Imagine? Imagine's wild.
I haven't used Imagine yet.
You need to use Imagine. Like it's like, yeah.
So all these video models, they're using some pre-trained model potentially, and then are they all basically like training their own model and like
the video and image stack is totally different than the LLM / like vision model like stack. I'd say it's like architectures are pretty different. The data is like totally different.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Basically, it seems like, the Higgsfield and all these different image and video models are sort of like the next gen, like Photoshop or Pro Tools of how far do you think these tools are going to go? I mean, and then also back to like LLM models like Legal, Legora and Harvey, like how much work is AI going to be doing ultimately of all these specialized tasks?
I think it'll get pretty end to end, but it's going to take a while because I think we just don't have the environments and data needed to sort of simulate end to end environments. So like, let me give you an example, right? Like doing like a SQL query on like a really basic like database, like AI's already solved that, right? Like, for really basic data stuff. But when you're talking about a production data system where you have like, I don't know, like different data lakes and like your data infrastructure is like really, really complicated, AI is like really bad at those types of queries. So, and the reasoning is just like, those types of environments weren't in the training data. So once we like get those types of environments and companies like, model those environments and make their own sort of some query engines, right? Or, the labs like get access to your thing and then like, that just gets part of the general training data. The agents are going to get a lot better. I think that's sort of why you've seen the push where like OpenAI and Anthropic and all these labs, they're trying to do a lot of forward deployed stuff. They want access to a lot of people's production systems so they can model it and make it better for your use case. Yeah.
Yeah. Like I saw somewhere that OpenAI just hired like 200 finance people.
Yeah.
Is that basically to like train their
exactly? Yeah. Yeah. Like they want like, okay, we want the best finance offering. We're going to get the best like guys in finance to like, go make data for us. And we're also going to talk to the top finance companies and do forward deployed stuff so we can get their environments and evals and go use it to make the best ChatGPT for finance.
They should be using HUD in that stack.
Well, OpenAI has their own stuff, but if instead like the finance firm was like, ChatGPT is great, but we want to like train our own model. Or if they want to use just OpenAI RFT and they're not doing like sort of like, I don't know, like some full stack stuff with OpenAI. Yeah, they can go spin up HUD, do a HUD in it, make their finance task and environment, and then run OpenAI RFT on that. So I think there's going to be a lot of options. I think it's not going to just be like like having to work with like a forward deployed team at a lab.
Yeah, that's pretty crazy. It's just such a crazy time. Everything, like you said, everything is like moving really quickly, and in 6 months, who knows where we're going to be?
In 6 months it'll be like, I don't know, like we'll talk about like VCI or something, like who knows what's going to happen, right? Like, yeah.
Okay. Would love to talk quickly about your startup finance stack. So yeah, can you tell us about your journey from inception? Like who did you use to incorporate banking, payroll, accounting, insurance? Like tell us about your startup finance stack.
Yeah. Great question. We use Clerky to incorporate. We use Brex for the bank. We use Pulley for the cap table. We use right now Warp for payroll, and we use obviously Founder for accounting. And then New Front for insurance.
And how do you like your experience with Fondo so far?
It's great. Although obviously like my co-founder is the real like tax guy. He's all the legal like treasurer of the company. So that's technically his it's technically his responsibility, right? Like
yeah. Awesome, man. Well, where can we find you online?
hud.so and also hud.ai. I don't know when you're going to post this, but hopefully hud.ai will be live with our
Let's
site.
go. Got the hud.ai domain.
Yeah.
Awesome. Can we find you anywhere on social?
Yeah. Follow us on Twitter at hud_evals. And then just look me up on my Twitter will probably be in like the added on this like page or I don't know where you guys
we'll add it on the show notes.
Add in the show notes. It's gonna be on Spotify.
It'll be on Spotify,
oh, really?
YouTube, X, LinkedIn. Awesome, Jay. Well, thanks so much for joining.
David Phillips experience. Awesome.
Whole thing.
Right.
Thanks.
See you guys.
Fondo.com, the all-in-one accounting platform for startups.